As you might have guessed from the title of this video, I am selling my BMW i3 range extender, tomorrow in fact. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos on this i3, you might be thinking, well hang on a minute, Chris is always saying how much he loves this car, so why is he selling it? And you won't be alone in asking that. My wife has asked that several times in the last week or so. However, I will explain why that is, as well as tell you what happened to my Audi A2. But first, before we begin, here is your reminder, subscribe to the CarGurus UK YouTube channel, where not only do we have videos on the cars that we own and run, but we also have head-to-head tests, used car reviews, and new car reviews as well. And of course, when you're searching for your next car, be sure to check out cargurus.co.uk, where you'll be able to easily find great deals from top-rated dealers, with search results sorted by the best deals first. The first thing to say is I am not selling the i3 because I have fallen out of love with it. In fact, I still admire all the same things about it that I did when I chose it. I like the design, I like the innovative materials and construction, I like the performance, and I like the versatility that this particular car has with its combination of rapid charge preparation and the little range extender petrol motor. I also love how cheap it has been to run. On an average month where I'm just using the home wall box to charge it, electricity comes in at around £10. Now that's about a third the cost that it would be if I was running a normal petrol car. In fact, based on electricity costs alone, home charging the i3 results in running costs of about 4 pence per mile. Now that figure does increase considerably if I'm using the i3 for longer trips where I'm having to use the petrol tank, fill up the petrol tank for the range extender, and also use the rapid charge. But the fact is, I don't actually use the i3 in that way very often. Mainly I'm using it for day trips where I can do the whole journey within the battery range and then charge up at home again. I would say though that on the times that I have used the rapid charging capability, I've been very impressed with it. To be able to plug in and 20 minutes later have an 80% charge, it's been really good. Now, as part of my i3 ownership, I have of course been keeping an eye on its battery. So has battery degradation been an issue? No, I really don't think it has. This car is on just over 46,000 miles now, and over the winter we've just had, I was seeing between 50 and 60 miles on a full charge, which is pretty much identical to what we were seeing the previous winter. Now we're into spring, it's up to between 60 and 70 miles, just like it was last spring, and that all leads me to believe that come the summer I'll be seeing more than, well I won't, but the next owner will be, more than 80 miles from a full charge. So no, I'm not selling the i3 because I'm worried about its battery, and I'm also not selling it because it hasn't worked in the winter as well as it does in the summer. Actually, in the winter it kind of comes into its own because you can preheat the cabin, which is great. Plus I've put Continental winter tyres on it in the winter. I've actually just switched back to summer now, but those tyres, when it was snow and ice this winter, were brilliant. The car had enough traction to pull away even on inclines, and the steering and braking all felt nice and stable. So I think on those tyres, an i3 in the winter makes perfect sense. There have, however, been a couple of things that have given me pause for thought, I suppose, when it comes to i3 ownership. The first of them is surprisingly not the rear doors, which I did think might be a bit of a problem given I've got 2 small children, but in reality, for 95% of the time, they've been fine, and the kids in and out has been pretty easy. Now, the first is the costs associated when things go wrong. Now, actually, not much has gone wrong with this car. I bought it as approved used. The first thing that went wrong that I was able to claim under the warranty was the heated seat stopped working on the driver's side. Now the bill for that, had it not been under warranty, would have been in the hundreds of pounds. And then after a year I renewed the warranty. It was £700 for the BMW warranty for another 12 months, which wasn't an easy decision to make because, well, it's £700 for something you hope you're never going to use, but boy am I glad I did, because within a couple of months I noticed that the near side wing mirror wasn't folding smoothly and that the indicator on it stopped working. So I took the car to BMW and they said yes, it needs a new wing mirror, and the cost for that is £800. Yes, that's £800 for one wing mirror. I was told that the reason it was so expensive was because of the i3's complicated construction. The same complicated construction you might recall being one of the things that I love about this car, but basically it meant the whole door had to come apart in order to swap it. Now, because I had that warranty, I was able to just pay the £250 excess and claim under the warranty. The irony being, of course, that £250 is about, in my head, what I think a new wing mirror should cost. But anyway, long story short, I thought, if that's the price when a wing mirror goes wrong, what's going to happen if something more serious fails? Next up, I have become a bit disenchanted with how the i3 rides on the motorway. It just never feels truly settled or planted. It's not a deal breaker, but definitely a frustration. But no, actually bigger than that in terms of reasons for swapping, and it's something I knew when I got the i3, you can't carry 4 bikes on it. And as my kids get older and want to ride more, it's becoming increasingly problematic. Now, I'd argued originally that we could put 2 bikes in this car and 2 bikes in the Audi and therefore problem solved. But as I say, now that we're all riding that much more, it's just not particularly practical to be taking 2 cars every time we go for a ride. So, as I say, I had 2 small cars, neither of which could carry 4 bikes, which wasn't kind of ideal for what we needed a car for. Now, the fact that neither the A2 or the i3 could carry 4 bikes isn't terribly surprising, given that both are small cars. In fact, they're really quite similar in their ethos. That's one of the things I liked about them. Both are compact, lightweight, they use advanced construction and materials. But in owning both, I then basically had 2 versions of the same car. And because the A2 was so much older, and the BMW therefore did most things better, I just found that I wasn't really driving the Audi very much. Which is why late last year, I sold the Audi. It's a car that served my family extremely well, and I still think it is so forward-looking in so many ways and a great piece of design. However, it did go to a very good home. I'm sure it's going to be extremely well looked after. And as with any car, selling it has allowed me to continue what is fast turning into an obsession for buying cars. So, to continue my ramble, I sold the Audi and I bought a practical, sensible car for the family. It's a 2009 Skoda Yeti, and I'll make a video about that car as well at some point because it's got a bit of a story to it. Plus I can show you the bike rack and how we get 4 bikes on it and stuff, which might be of interest. But once I'd done that, I had the Yeti, as I say, it's our main family car, and then I had the i3, which sort of has become the fun car. And then I got to the point of thinking, well, if the i3 is the fun car, perhaps I should choose something that's even more fun, something a bit sportier. Now, it's the desire to have that sportier car that's the reason I'm selling the i3 tomorrow. I'm actually picking up the sportier car tomorrow. I'm very excited about it. Might be a bit of a crazy decision in my more rational moments. I do think I might be doing something a bit silly, but we'll see as time goes on. But this video is not about my next car. This video is about this little i3 range extender. The i3 is a car I bought partly to see what life with an electric car would be like. And you know what? It's been really good. In fact, for most of my time owning the i3, I've probably thought that I wouldn't really have a reason to go back to internal combustion. You see, I love the way this drives. I love things like the convenience of home charging and being able to preheat it. And when I think of all of those things, I then think, what on earth am I doing selling it? But then I remember the thing about the 4 bikes, and then quite frankly, I think about the car I'm picking up tomorrow and how excited I am, and I can rationalise it. But while it has been interesting owning an electric car, I didn't ever buy the i3 specifically because it was electric. Now, I bought it because I thought it was an interesting car, just like I think the Audi A2 is an interesting car, and in its own way, the Skoda Yeti is quite an interesting car to me as well. I will say, however, that I'm sure to go back to an EV at some point. Whether it's a Tesla or a Kia e-Niro or a Renault Zoe or perhaps even another i3, I don't know. But I've experienced enough of electric motoring and electric car ownership to know all of its pros and cons, to think that I probably will own one again one day. Right now though, well right now, I'm just looking forward to tomorrow. I'll provide a full update on the Yeti and my other new car in the not too distant future. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you'll see when they go live. Plus, you'll be able to keep up to date with all of our other new and used car reviews. And if you're like me and you can't stop looking at used cars to buy, be sure to head to cargurus.co.uk, where you'll find loads of great deals from top-rated dealers.